Yo. Yo. Hello, everyone. This is your Renaissance Swag Girls here, Kat
and Alex,
shooting episode 6 of Curly Cues. But before we get, what was that?
That's an imaginary cue I do.
That was an imaginary cue. So before we begin, we were at an event last week called the Moonlight Society. So think about what you guys would do in the moonlight. Your passion project. So not your day job project or your work or where you go, from 9 to 5, but that passion project, be it writing, be it journaling, blogging, photographing. What is it that you do on the side?
And the whole reason and purpose was for the Moonlight Society. It was actually at a co-working space, and they wanted to bring together people that are working on their creativity.
Right.
And they had these panelists that have a little bit more refined passion projects, things that actually are, they either have followers, like there's private dinners that they're hosting and it's curated salons, or there's someone else that has like an online hobby club.
Right.
And the purpose is that they started something, they brought it to life, and now other people are really enjoying their passion project.
Right.
So there was a question and answer portion, and someone in the audience asked the panelists, okay, all these projects are great, but what if I have an idea that everyone else has the same idea? It's already been done. It's already been done way too much.
Everyone and their mother is blogging, especially, let's say, lifestyle blogging.
Everyone plays a musical instrument. Everyone draws.
Yeah.
So what was his answer? And we loved it.
Okay, it was one of those, literally drop the mic. He goes, okay, that's just like saying I'm a writer and, I walk into a library and I look around and say, well, I guess I'm not going to write anymore because there's all these books here.
Exactly.
It was one of those moments where the whole crowd just either bursted out laughter, there was a lot like, ooh, and ahs.
Exactly.
And it was such a great analogy and just well thought out answer because think about it. How ridiculous does that sound when he said it like that? It's as if saying, I'm an artist, so I go into the museum where I work every day, and it's like, well, I guess I'm not going to do it because all these people are better than me and they paint better than me.
Or it's just walking down probably any avenue in New York City, and you see, oh, there's an Italian restaurant, and there's another Italian restaurant, there's another Italian restaurant.
How about I be an architect and walking in New York City? Well, I guess all these skyscrapers, where am I going to build mine?
Exactly.
It's been done before.
And it's kind of just an excuse people use, or not an excuse, but it's a fear that people have.
Definitely.
And what we want to
We've been there.
Exactly. And what we want to encourage everyone is that if you feel as if, oh, my idea has been done before, really consider if this is something that you're doing on the side, it's really supposed to be something that is a labor of love. And
wait. You said it before. Fueled by love.
Exactly.
I love it. It's got to be fueled by love.
Exactly. So you shouldn't even be worrying about how your talent or idea stacks up against someone else if right now you're just doing it on the side.
The way we overcame it is there's no Kat and Alex out there in the world.
Right.
Right?
So just like there's no you, or you out there.
Exactly. So if when you think of that, we have our own unique flair. You have your own unique flair. Let your own unique flair be what blossoms and not the fear of everyone else does it, paralyzing you. So with that, we want you to go light up that candle at night,
I like that.
sit under the moon, and work on your passion project. So we're going to get into Curly Cues.
Okay.
Now, if you've watched, and this is, we're belaboring this, sorry, but for those who are just following along, we have a blank piece of paper. I write a question for Alex. Alex writes a question for me. We both don't know the question. This is not scripted, one edit. We flip a coin. Heads is moi, and tails is
Moi.
Si. A C. I use moi, French, and the C in Greek means you.
There you go.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, here we go. We're gonna dive into it.
You ready?
And cue the Jeopardy music.
Okay.
AKA
ready?
our humming.
Yep.
Yeah. Exactly. My handwriting is sloppy. I kind of have a two-part. I just thought of something else.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay. Ooh. I don't know how to spell this properly. Okay.
1 second.
I'm done. Uh-oh, still a long one.
No, no, it's not that long.
Yeah, it's just, it's a lot of pressure when you have to write like this. I do get nervous. Do you?
Well, a little bit. My handwriting gets so sloppy the
Can I do
best
this
I write.
time? Okay. Yeah. So heads is me, tails is Alex. Tails.
All right.
Alex, all right. You got no choice. There you go. Here we go.
Ready? Mm-hmm. If you could have a superpower, what would it be and why? What would also be your kryptonite? Ooh, I love this.
Okay.
So we definitely have talked about this. I don't know. Have we talked about this in Renaissance Week?
I'm not sure, but I think I've asked you before somewhere. Maybe in Italy. What was your superpower? But I don't know your kryptonite.
Well, for a superpower, have you guys ever seen the movie Limitless of Bradley Cooper? And essentially, he takes this pill where he is rapidly able to learn things, learn skills, whether it's learning languages, learning techniques like doing a headstand, whether it's reading these books and just absorbing all the information. So for me, if I could have a superpower, it would definitely be for me to learn things a little bit faster. And
wait, I'm just thinking of the emoticon with the cute little glasses right now.
The nerd one?
I love it.
Perfect. And it's honestly, so when you're learning a new skill, part of the triumph when you're learning something. So say you are a huge yogi, right? You learn a position and you feel great when you do it, but then it's kind of like, okay, on to the next one. I want to learn it.
Right.
So it's wonderful, that learning curve, and I love the process, but I just would want to learn things a little bit faster. Or maybe it's that, like, if my superpower could just be kind of to slow down time so that
you could learn.
Exactly. Oh. That's the phone ringing, but we're gonna let it ring.
We're gonna let it ring?
We're gonna let it ring. And then
oh, snap.
It's okay. And then what would also be your kryptonite?
Yeah.
I already feel like my kryptonite.
Maybe we'll let this pass. It's not important. Whoever's calling is not important.
That's not nice.
Hopefully.
Well, whatever.
Yeah.
Well, what is my kryptonite, or what would it be?
What would be your kryptonite, or what? Okay, maybe what is your kryptonite?
I feel like my kryptonite is that, okay, so if I want my superpower, it's basically like your greatest strength to become your greatest flaw.
Yeah.
So if I want my superpower to be able to learn all of these things, my kryptonite is saying yes to all those things and not focusing on what I really want to do. And this is one of the lessons I keep learning over and over in my life, and I'm getting much better at it. But it's really, really, really being so careful with your yes and with your no. Yeah. So my kryptonite would be saying yes to way too many things and not saying yes to things that are extremely important to me.
That's beautiful. That's great. Love it.
Thank you. Simple as that.
I know. Okay,
you ready?
Turn?
Yes.
Yeah. Why do you think so many people become victim of their circumstances rather than making the change they want in their life?
It's more of a general. I was just, maybe the observations.
Yeah, no. I think the attachment to how others perceive you. So maybe I'm just thinking personally, which is why maybe I'm answering collectively, but obviously I can't answer collectively. Right. I guess I could just thrust this upon myself. Why do I fall victim?
Well, I wasn't going to say, I don't think you are a victim of your circumstances.
No, I'm not a victim of my circumstances, but I could, if, to think about what's maybe holding you back.
Okay.
Rather than making the change they want in their life. Obviously fear. I think fear always plays a huge role, but I also think it's people's perceptions of ourselves, like how people perceive us, and if we're going to A, let them down, B, not be what they expected us to be, and then maybe C, or maybe just A and B.
It's okay.
So I think it's easier for people. It's an easy scapegoat to say, I'm just going to stay in this 9 to 5. It's providing me money. I don't hate it so much. I'm not being treated badly. So it's as if the pain doesn't hurt so much, so you don't leave. Mm-hmm. So when it's average, you're like, okay, I could deal with this. If terrible, you'd leave in a heartbeat. If someone mistreated you, if a boss was malicious to you, you'd bounce right out of there. But if the boss was, kind of okay, and you were kind of okay with it, it would be a kind of okay life. So I really think it has to do with fear. I think it has to do with self-doubt that who am I to leave my circumstance or to leave this situation? I'm not good enough. I can't do it. I'm no business major. I'm a liberal arts major. How am I going to start a business? And I guess this question, I mean, maybe it's bad that I'm going in a business avenue.
No, use it.
But I really feel like a lot of people feel victim in their job. No one feels, and if you feel a victim in your relationship and a job, it's almost not the same, but it's this type of infrastructure that's holding you back and holding you down. It's harder to make the change. It's harder to make the leap because we don't want to be judged. We don't want to feel like people are pointing the finger at us. We all slightly do want to feel loved and liked. There's this like subconscious level. I don't
think subtly. I think definitely.
Okay, that's ubiquitous. I mean, maybe I'm making a bold statement, but it's a very ubiquitous characteristic that we all just want to be accepted. Acceptance is huge. And to do something out of the norm doesn't look like the word accepting. Your family might be like, why are you doing that? Your friends might be like, why are you so crazy? That's ridiculous. What makes you think you can do that? Now, hopefully you have a great support system that doesn't say that, but along the way, you're gonna come across that, and it's easy to fall victim into saying, it was the way my cards were dealt. But it's not, because you can take the leap. So I really think it comes down to fear, self-doubt, other people's perceptions, and just that undercurrent of wanting to feel accepted, as opposed to, you're going to have haters, you're going to have critics, you have to like own up to it. I remember reading Michael Singer's book, The Untethered Soul, and he said, when you want to be a leader and you really want to go down that path, it's going to be a lonely and dark road. And I looked at that and said, ooh, I don't know whether to be upset by this or to really embrace it and say, okay, that's maybe a road that's going to happen. And think to yourself, no one's going to understand why you do what you do, but that's okay. As long as you understand and you're God or the universe, whatever you pray to. Like for me, if I know I'm good, if I know God knows I'm good, and I'm following what I feel is right for me, that's all that I can care about. The moment I stray away from thinking about, well, what does my mom think about me? What do you think about me? What does my boss think about me? Now I'm just becoming the Katerina for you, for my mom, for my boss, for the world. I'm not becoming the Katerina for me. And I think that's where we fall victim. We fall victim for ourselves, as opposed to just saying, I'm the victor.
Interesting.
In life.
I'm really happy because I was going to ask a follow-up question saying, what could you tell people that feel trapped by their circumstances? But you already answered it. You said you had to figure out what is right for you.
Yeah, definitely. And you can't compare, and there's a huge world out there.
Yeah.
So there's so much opportunity. There's so many roads to take, and it's scary. I know. We live in a time where our parents' generation knew one path. You would get into a job, you'd get married, you'd have kids, and maybe you'd stay in that job for 20 years. That's not the case. People are getting laid off. Things are changing. People are signing up for contract work. There's entrepreneurs.
Or there's technology that replaces jobs. And I love what you're talking about with the pain aspect, because we love this book called The 4-Hour Workweek by Tim Ferriss, and he has this analogy saying that, okay, say you have an injury on your arm, and it's just like kind of a cut, and it's just bleeding, right? It doesn't hurt that bad. You're not going to go to the hospital. You kind of just put a Band-Aid, but it doesn't hurt that bad. You're not really going to do anything about it.
Right.
Then you get like a bullet to your arm. Like, I got to go right now and make a change. Like, I got to get this fixed. So that's exactly when people kind of, there is this concept by Thoreau. It's called A Man Leaves a Life of Quiet Desperation. And it's when you aren't 100%, I don't know if we'll ever all be 100% satisfied with our lives.
Right.
We aren't enlightened beings. However, it's where you just feel kind of trapped by your situation. So
Right.
I love how you answered that question.
Yeah, no,
That's great.
Talk about quotes. I mean, I'm not going to say it perfectly, but I just I fell into this quote where it's saying, it was in The Prince by Machiavelli, and he was saying, you know, be courageous in your ambition, you know, be ambitious in your goals, but not being like a sloth. Don't be ambitious in your sloth-likeness.
I love that.
You know, and be ambitious to be curious and go forward, and don't put strength towards suffering. Like, don't put the strength and I'm not saying it perfectly, but
we got the gist.
The gist is really go out there and make a stand for something and conquer something. Don't conquer suffering. You don't have to suffer all the time. So it was so beautiful. I was like, wow, be curious, set forth. I want to make mistakes ambitiously and courageously, not get by like a sloth and feel okay. So it was so beautiful. Really loved that question. Thank you for asking it.
Of course. I love my question too.
Yeah. So we want to know what you do under the moon with your lamp at night. So hashtag Moonlight Society. What do you do?
And we want to know your superpower and your kryptonite.
Yeah, and your kryptonite. And what do you guys think about falling victim? Have you ever felt like you fell into a victim mentality? And how can we all as a society
transcend that?
Transcend that into becoming victors.
Perfect.
So,
I like it.
We'll see you next week.
Stay warm.
Yes. Ciao, ciao.
Ciao.
Mwah.
Ah.